You can get so good at this that physical reality will rearrange itself exactly according to that picture.
It is not who you are that's holding you back. It is the illusions of who you think you're not. This is Anders Hansen, and I'm here to help you shatter those illusions and live the life of your dreams.
Hello there, this is Anders Hansen, and I am so grateful that you're here because we're going to be spending some time on my favorite topic of all time, and it will enable you to create real magic in your life. And I know that's what you're here to do. We're going to be talking about visualization and how to do it right. We visualize whether we want it or not, but most people don't visualize the right way. They do visualize, but they visualize everything they don't want, and that is what they keep getting more of. We want to learn to do it right. You see, for 20 years, I was in the entertainment industry building and conceiving illusions, magic tricks. And the biggest job of an illusionist is to go to that point in their mind where things are impossible. They need to look utterly impossible. And when you come up with a concept that you think is really impossible, then you work your way backward. You work in essence with the principle that I'm going to share with you here today and how to do it right. We've heard about visualization probably 1,000 times, and intellectually we can think we know what it is, but unless we sit down and actually consistently use it the right way, we're not going to see much change in our lives. And so that's why we're here today. So illusions are conceived that way, by going to that impossible place in your mind and then you work your way backwards. So for 20 years, I had become pretty good at that, coming up with all sorts of impossible things. When Bob Proctor and I sat down and talked, he asked me a question that not a single person in 20 years had asked me. He said, Anders, how do you create an illusion? And as I shared the process with him, I thought to myself, that's pretty darn good. I can't believe I never thought about that before. I told him I go as far as I can in my mind, and then I work backwards from something that I consider to be impossible. And he goes, how does that work out in your own life? I was at a loss for words because it wasn't. It was not working out in my personal life. It never dawned on me that I could use that same principle. But I have since. And great things have happened, not by accident, but by using visualization in an orderly process where you continuously, and this is so key, real magic is when you take energy and manipulate pure, unadulterated energy into any form you want. And that's a beautiful thing about our mind. We are a spiritual being that's living in a physical body, and we're gifted with a mind, and the mind sits right between spirit and form. You can tap into your mind and your higher faculties and build pictures. And there's two faculties that we're working with when we are visualizing. That is your imagination and your will. Your imagination is being used to build the pictures, right? And when you were a kid, like me, you probably had a vivid imagination. You were just as much in your inner world as you were in your outer world. Why? Children's brain waves are lower. That means they're just as much in their inner world as they are in their outer world. They're not living in a highly reactive state like most adults. And so that's why it's easier for them. Now, can we train this faculty? Absolutely. We can become really good at it. And we should make a commitment to become better. So we build the images with the imagination, and then we use the will, which is gives us the ability to focus and concentrate. Most people are very unfocused. A recent Time magazine article described how the human attention span has gone from, I believe, 12 seconds down to 7, and a goldfish is like 8. We're like right there underneath the goldfish. Why? Because we're so distracted all the time. So could we make a decision to go the other way? Absolutely. And that's really what we're doing when we're visualizing. The problem is with most people, they visualize what they don't want. They are literally praying for what we don't want. And prayer is just that movement that takes place between spirit and form. With and through us, we're just the physical instrument, right? And all prayers are answered. All prayers are answered. And so we can become really good at it. We can become so good that we literally alter physical reality around us. And it's not an accident. People say, well, how did you get to meet Bob Proctor and work with him? That wasn't an accident. I've seen the image of working with the best in the world in personal development for a period of time. I held the image on the screen of my mind. I felt the emotions of the rush of joy and gratitude I would feel when that happened. So the universe caused us to go to the same place at the same time and run into each other. How does that happen? For people outside, like looking in, they would say, well, how could you have predicted that? Well, the truth is I couldn't. I just used real magic to make it happen, and so can you. But how disciplined are you? The same way with the way I materialized my car. The car I have today was not supposed to exist. Tesla does not make it. They never were supposed to make it, but nonetheless they did. For 3 years, I had visualized a certain image of a certain car with a certain specification, and on my birthday, I called them up and I say, that's what I want. And they say, sorry, Mr. Hansen, we don't make them like that. And I said, you can't tell me that. For 3 years, this is what I've seen. And he calls me back 5 minutes later and he goes, I can't explain it, sir, but Tesla made a mistake. We made one model in 2019 that is brand new, that has these specs and open sunroof. It's not supposed to exist, but it does. It can be in Vegas in 2 days. And I said, that's mine. What happened? That idea traveled back down the timeline and affected some Tesla technician's mind. So you are affecting collective consciousness when you are visualizing. You may have to attract somebody from the other side of the planet to make your goal happen, but you will. And when it happens, which it must, people around you will say you're really lucky, or they'll say something else that advertises their ignorance. It's nothing to do with luck. Luck is what happens when preparedness meets opportunity. And by visualizing the right way, you're literally forcing the opportunity to come your way. So I would encourage you to make a commitment today. And we can say yes with the words and with the words we use and with the noise that's coming out of our mouth, and we can say, yes, that's what I'm committing to. But are we actually following it up with action? You see, no decision is made until it's followed up by action. So I would encourage you to make a decision today where you commit 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes at night to build the picture of what it is that you do want. And not, many people have multiple goals, and we should have one goal at a time because we can only think of one thing at a time as human beings. So let's make sure it's a goal that's worthy of us, and 10 minutes every morning you sit down and you withdraw input from the senses. That is so key. It's contrary to how we've been programmed, though we are in a highly reactive state oftentimes to the senses, but we sit down and we close down the input from the senses. We become bigger than our body, so to say. And we can do that. We can literally use our mind to do that, to get into that state where we become totally relaxed. And you see the picture and you feel the emotion and you analyze the picture in every detail. You get so good at this that physical reality will rearrange itself exactly according to that picture. That's what happened in the case of my car. That car wasn't supposed to exist down to the exact specification. It was made. Why? Probably because I've been holding on to that picture for so long with a grateful, expectant attitude. And so we make that commitment every morning and every night. You should commit it if you have a reading partner, study partner, commit it to them. If you are not part of our community yet, you should be. Find the Facebook group called Real Magic Community and become members. And find a reading partner. Find somebody that you can commit this information to and have them hold you accountable. Yes, I'm committing to this process of visualization twice a day, and you will be amazed at what happens in your life. You can use a vision board to help emphasize the picture if that becomes easier. Whatever it takes for you to hold on to that picture. And that is literally when you cause energy to move from spirit to physical with and through you in an orderly process. And this entire universe works by law. Even dust and feathers go by law and not by luck. Everything happens by law. Then the manifestation of your goal will happen by law. Not by accident, not by luck, not because some capricious God were sitting in the sky and choosing you over somebody else. No, it doesn't work that way. It happens by law. So you get to decide. Are you making that commitment or are you not? I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the chat if you're committed to expanding on your visualization practice and really cause unadulterated energy, which has no form, to move through you, with and through you, in an orderly way to produce the image that you're visualizing. It's the most powerful technique, and we can become so good at it that you literally co-create every single moment of every day constructively according to what it is that you do want. Most people pray for what they don't want. They get emotionally involved in what they don't want, and that's what they keep attracting. We don't want to do that. So that was a little insight today on visualization. I hope that you've committed to up the ante on your visualization exercise, I want to end here today by reminding you that it is not who you are that holds you back. It's all the illusions of who you think you're not. And when we confuse what we have with who we are, we'll always have problems. We're not our body. We're not our mind. We're not our circumstances. These are all things that we have. We can actually govern our thoughts. We can decide to sit down and build the picture and channel the energy in a specific direction for a specific purpose, and that will enable you to achieve, to attain, to experience anything your heart desires, and that is real magic to me. All right? Bye for now.
I really hope that you took a lot of valuable insight away from this video today. And to make sure you stay updated in terms of everything Real Magic World, including programs and live events, make sure that you enable your notifications and most importantly, subscribe to this channel so that you will be the first to know.